All right. So tonight we're going to spend time talking about activity and results. We've really been focusing on getting activity completed, but then we're starting to focus on making sure we're getting results. And so I want to talk tonight a little bit about the difference in terms of activity and results and focusing on different things. Because when we started this process a little over a week ago, it was about activity. Okay. I told you to make your top 10 list. I told you had 48 hours to expose the top 10. I don't think anybody successfully exposed their top 10 in the first 48 hours. But then several of you continued to work through your list over the next 48 hours. And so after 96 hours, some of you had gotten close to making it through your list. Here's the thing though, that was all about activity. So that was the assignment, was expose in 48 hours your top 10 list. We talked about why we wanted the top 10, why we wanted to start on the A team people, and not go for the low hanging fruit. Okay. So one of the things that you need to do is you need to be constantly adding to this list. So there is an activity component to this, because you don't want to just call the same 10 people every day. If they're not answering, they're not responding, you're not getting results. That doesn't make sense, right? To continue to call the same people who are dodging you or not answering or whatever, move on, replace them on the list. And now that you've gotten to your top 10, it's okay to add additional people that may have not been a top 10, but you still should be putting people on your list with the intention of getting to your best people first. So maybe now you're into your top 15 or you're into your top 20. All right. So you still want to use the same mindset. You still want to go after your best prospects, your most successful people, your most influential, the wealthiest, most connected, richest, however you're going to say it. We want people that can travel, have some time freedom, can use the product, all right, are going to be a good fit for us, all right? We're not looking for people who want opportunity, all right? We're not there yet. And at some point later on, once you've gotten through all of your good member prospects, we can talk about recruiting people that are looking for an opportunity. It's not that you can't recruit those people. It's just that if they can't afford the membership, it's like, it's kind of, there was this old Eddie Murphy comedy skit where he talked about ice cream. He's like, I got ice cream and you can't have any. And that's kind of what you're doing if you're going to your low hanging fruit and you're trying to present to people who can't afford the membership. All right. So remove those people from the list. All right. Only go after our A team top prospects first. And then as we grow, you can continue to add to the list. Now, here's one of the things that's really important. You don't want to just get hung up on this top 10, meaning that you don't want to just call the same 10 every day. You need to be calling people every day. Part of your work weekly is inviting. You can't spend an hour inviting just 10 people. It should only take you 5 minutes to invite 10 people. So, what are you doing for the other 55 minutes? You can't just call the same 10 people every day. So, you need to be adding to this list. You need to be calling more people. And once you get through your top 10, if you're still inviting, you need to go to 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So, that's still activity. Okay. So, you have to have activity focus on doing the work, putting in the work. But now we're going to talk about getting results and making sure that you're making sales, getting people signed up, getting people off the fence, not letting people tell you that they're going to sign up in a week or in a month or in a couple days or they need to think about it. We went through all of those objections last week. So tonight, we're going to really dig in and focus on what we need to do to create results, okay? Because the next assignment is going to be results driven, okay? All of the previous assignments have been activity driven. So tonight we're going to focus on results. And the assignment tonight is going to be that in the next 48 hours, okay? So by Thursday's call, everybody in this group needs to have their 2 and free, okay? So your goal in the next 48 hours, if you're not already 2 and free, is to be 2 and free. So if you're already 2 and free, then your goal over the next two days is to put in 2 people. So it's 1 per 24 hours. Now, I'm going to do this too. So I'm going to do this with you. All right. I'm going to put in 2 people over the next 48 hours. just like I'm telling you. That is the assignment. So we're going to focus tonight on results because there is a big difference between going through the motions. It's like, yeah, I called all the people, Wes. Yep, called all 10. Yep, exposed them all. None of them signed up, but I did it. I did what you told me. Yeah, I told you to do that activity, but the reason why I told you to do the activity was to get the results. So you can't just look at the activity and go, well, I called the 10, I exposed 10, I didn't get any sales, I haven't signed anybody up, but I did what Wes told me. No, that is not how this works. The whole idea is to get results. So I'm showing you the activity that's necessary in order to get results. So that means that if you've not gotten your sales, if you've not gotten people to sign up from your 10 list, you need to get through that list faster, and you need to be adding more people to the list because you've got 2 days to get your 2 and free. So everybody should be 2 and free by Thursday night's call. Okay, so the reports on Thursday are going to be, here's my 2 sales. Here's who I signed up. Here's how I signed them up. Here's where I signed them up. And I want everybody to go through that and give us their 2 sales. Okay, but in the meantime, I'm going to talk to you about your list on how to convert everybody on the list. Okay, so that's why I need you to put your list in the chat right now so we can walk through it and talk about the game plan for each person. Okay, and that's what we're doing tonight. So it's all about turning this list from activity into results. All right, so we're going to start with Tammy. So Tammy, you've got Rachel on Thursday. Awesome. And that's the lunch meeting that you're going to be doing yourself. Here, let me let you guys unmute. Hang on one second. So that way for the recording, they can hear you. All right. Okay, Tammy, let's go through your list.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
Rachel's
Thursday for lunch.
you're doing that presentation with the recorded video, or
Yep, with the recorded video. I'm gonna bring my iPad.
Who's your third party validation going to be? Who's your testimonials going to be for that meeting?
It's probably going to be, I haven't contacted, but what I wind up having on there. I probably will call Nancy for that.
Okay, but remember, you've got to have 2 products and 2 business.
I do have 2 products, 2 businesses. I sent it to you.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is, so if those are the 2, you need to tell each of those 2 product, 2 business, hey, Thursday at noon, you got to be watching for my call. I need you because I'm meeting with Rachel, and Rachel needs to hear from 2 people on product and 2 people on business. If you put these prospects on the phone with 2 fired up members and 2 fired up influencers, now this whole, can I do this? Will it work? You're going to start converting all of these people into sales because this is the reason why people make the decision. Can I do this and will it work? So you've got to have your 4 testimonials lined up and ready and prepared that you're going to call them after the presentation. Okay.
All
right. So then you've got Paul is tomorrow afternoon.
Yep, 4:30. It's an early dinner meeting.
Same thing with your testimonials. Make sure they're prepped. It doesn't have to be the same 4 every time. And then you probably need to have some backup. The goal is to let them hear 2 product, 2 business. At a bare minimum, 1 product, 1 business. Like, to me, it's not even a complete presentation if you don't hear 1 product testimonial and 1 business testimonial. Ideally 2. Okay, but you need to prep everybody for these meetings. And so you may need to have more than just your 2 because they may have work or they may have other things going on. So you need to have some people on backup, on standby. You can't just have those 2. Okay.
I'll find
so try to work on adding some additional people on there because you've done a good job getting these meetings set up, and we want to convert them because now it's about getting the results. Okay.
Absolutely.
So you had 1 today, and so who did you use for your third party validation for Franca?
I didn't use a third-party validation. Now that I'm talking to you, I will make sure to have them. I know we listed them, but I didn't have anybody on standby. So
here's the thing. So here's what you need to do. When we get off this call here in however long it is, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is, you need to call Franca. You need to get somebody on the phone, and you need to call Franca with them already on the phone. So don't ask.
It's going to be a little difficult at 10:30 at night. It's not, it's like 10 of 10 here. So it's gonna be a little difficult to get somebody live at 10:30 at night, but I will definitely text if people are up. I will make that happen.
Why do you think at 10:10 it's going to be difficult?
Because a lot of people go to bed between 9 and 10 o'clock.
Can I just get a survey really quick of everybody that's on this call really quick, just for example's sake? How many of you on this call go to bed before 10 p.m.? Just type one if you do and two if you don't.
I do. I normally do.
Okay,
Two.
that's fine. Type one. One if you do, two if you don't. If you're on this call and 10 o'clock, you don't answer any calls after 10 o'clock, you're in bed at 10 o'clock, type one. And if you don't, type two. Tammy, are you watching the results?
Yep, that's fine. A
I
lot
know,
of
but
people I know
here,
get up at 4 or 5
listen,
in the morning. I
Tammy.
said I will call them.
I know,
Absolutely.
but so here, cause let me, the reason I'm doing this, okay, this is really important. I've been doing this for 30 years, okay? And here's the thing. I told you guys a week ago, if this is important, if this is critical, okay? If you had something that was critical for your friend, would you call after 10 o'clock if it was critical?
I definitely will call them.
I
That
know,
was my
so
objective.
but what I'm saying is there may be other people though, Tammy, that need to hear this. This is important because what I'm saying is that psychologically, if you don't call her tonight, tomorrow she's already forgotten 80 to
Right.
90%. How did you show her today? What did you show her?
The presentation on my
Which one?
iPad. The 15, 20 minute one that you sent.
The Why Bright Life, the
Yep.
17-minute
Yep.
one?
Yep.
Okay. So if you call her tomorrow,
Yep.
statistically, 80 to 90% of what she took in that 17 minutes is gone. 80 to 90% of it. Okay. Unless she's a super genius, which I doubt because
Right.
there's very few of them on the planet. And
Right.
super geniuses can retain 50%. The regular everyday person can retain 80 to 90%. They lose 80 to 90% in 24 hours. So
Right.
that means that if you don't call her tonight, she's going to forget everything
Okay.
she saw tonight. So then when you try to get her off the fence and get her on the phone with the third party that you were supposed to do when you did it, now you've lost all your opportunity. So literally, you've done that exposure for nothing. So what you have to think is, I literally just wasted the time I invited, the time I presented because I didn't call her tonight. And now she's forgotten 80 to 90% of what I told her. So here's what's going to happen. If you wait and call her tomorrow, if you don't reach her tonight, when you call her tomorrow, you put her on the phone with Nancy or whoever you put her on the phone with. This is what she's going to say. No, thanks. Not for me. Why? Not because that's the real answer, but because she doesn't even remember enough to make a decision. This is critical. So this isn't just you, Tammy. This is everybody. This is what people do. They do all of the work, okay? And this is the thing. There's a breakdown in the process. So tonight's breakdown was you didn't do the third party validation. We talked about that this week. Okay. We said that it needed to happen on every presentation. It didn't. So that was the breakdown. So now I'm trying to basically fix the breakdown in the process. And what I'm saying is that if you don't take it serious and critical and call her tonight, then what happens is if you don't reach her tomorrow, she's a guaranteed no. So now all of that work that you did, all of that activity, the calling, the inviting, the presenting, the exposing, and then getting somebody to do the three-way tomorrow, I'm just telling you, she's not signing up. And
Okay.
so it really needs to happen right whenever they see it. But this is important because here's the thing. In a normal business situation, you would not call somebody after 10 o'clock. But the problem is that you're correlating this with a business. And this is a critical situation that deserves immediate attention. And so the thing is that most people, when they get into this business, they don't make it critical. They use these outlier business rules. Well, I'm not going to call them after 9. I'm not going to call them after 9:30. But here's the thing. If you call me after 10 o'clock, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to answer. You know why? Because I'm going to think it's important. And so you're more likely to get her to answer your call if you call her at 10:10 than you are if you call her at 3 o'clock tomorrow in the middle of the day. Why? Because it isn't typical. And so that's the thing we have to train ourselves is that we have to make this a critical situation so that people understand how important it is, and we have to take it upon ourselves to look at every prospect this way, because if we let them go through the motions and we let them out, we let them off, we don't call them tonight, we call them tomorrow, she's going to forget 80 to 90% of it. As soon as she goes to bed tonight, I can't even remember my dreams when I dream. I dream every night. And then as soon as I wake up, I forget them. People do
Wes,
that with everyday information whenever they hear it. It's just the way our brains work. We can't use the power that our brains have. So,
Wes,
yeah.
if you read the note right next to her, she blatantly said no right up front that it wasn't a good fit for her. So that was the reason there
But
wasn't a third
Tammy,
party
but
call.
Tammy,
So,
in fairness, you did
right.
not follow the program. Okay. You did not put,
Okay.
I already told you. Okay. Here's the
Okay.
thing. The reason why people say no is because they think either I can't do this or it won't work. That's the only reason. The only reason they say yes is because they think I can do this and this works. So, how did you show her that this works? Did you show her a residual check as an influencer?
She what? No, I
Oh, the
didn't
answer
know.
is no. The answer is no because I know you don't have it. So the answer is no. So you didn't show her a residual check. So she doesn't even know that it works. And I already told you, when you're in the middle of the process, you kept yourself in the middle of the process. You want to take yourself out of the process and introduce her to somebody she doesn't know that you can edify and make the expert so that that way she listens to them. So it removes you from having to do any selling or any explaining, and it removes you from the process. You didn't do that. That's the reason she said no. It didn't have anything to do with anything else. That's what
Okay.
I'm telling you. I'm
Okay.
literally dissecting your business and telling you
Okay.
why she said no.
Okay.
So that's why you got to get her on the phone with somebody tonight. Just make the call. She may answer, she may not, but at least she tried. I'm telling you, that's your only chance. If you want her to sign up, is to call her tonight. Okay, Chris is next Wednesday. So you can't see Chris before a week, 8 days from now.
No, that's
What
when
about on a Zoom?
that's when he said he could meet.
Okay, let's go back to when we talked
I've
before.
tried to get him on a Zoom in a couple of past ones. So I've had a hard time getting him on a Zoom, so he
Okay,
committed
but
to an
so
appointment.
another point that's really good to illustrate, right? You've had a hard time getting him on. So as soon as you let them put you off, okay, this is, and once again, Tammy, I'm not picking on you. These are lessons for all of us. Everybody on
Mhm.
this call is doing these exact same things. And so I appreciate you participating in the process and doing this work, but I don't want you to keep wasting your time and have breakdowns in the process, right? So
Nor do
if
I,
somebody
right?
puts you off on the Zoom or the meeting, they're going to always put you off. So here's my guess. This is my guess, and we can record. This is recorded, and we can look next week. My guess is Chris is not going to see you next Wednesday because he's already put you off. So you've already basically confirmed his suspicion that this is not urgent because you've let him put it off. So just like you said, he's been really hard to tie down. That's because he doesn't think it's important. So you have not made him feel like it's worth his time to make this a priority. So this is, I'm going to point out the breakdowns in the process. So the breakdown with Franca, no third party validation. Okay, this is a problem with your list from last week. You exposed people last week that didn't join, and I'm just telling you the reason is because they don't believe it's true. They don't believe it's real because you didn't give them any proof. And so we're getting the exposures done, but we're not getting enough proof. That's why we talked about three ways. That's why we talked about the third party validation. All right. So we'll see what happens with Chris, but just a good lesson. Don't let people put you off. Make them feel like this is urgent, life or death, 911. It's that important. Okay. Caitlin is still in limbo. That's fine. Kim next Wednesday. Once again, I
They
mean,
have they're both
what?
coming together. Kim and Chris is the committed appointment together.
Is it a couple?
It's no, it's not a couple.
They're not a
They,
couple,
they
but
both,
they're coming to the
they're
same event
coming to
next
the
Wednesday.
same,
Do
yeah,
they
they're
know each
both
other?
committed to the both dinner. Yes, that's her son. They're both business. They're
Oh,
both real
it's family.
estate
Okay.
and they both
Okay, cool.
have conveyed interest several times. I just have had a difficult time getting Chris on a Zoom call and Kim happens to be back in from Florida. So they
Okay.
committed next Thursday,
Okay. And then dinner meeting Saturday. Good.
Saturday at four
And
thirty.
then call back.
Michelle's husband Randy was on the Zoom, but he feels comfortable talking to her and she was out of the country, so she's supposed to be in town this week.
Okay, so and here's another thing. If somebody says I need to talk to my spouse, or I need to check with my husband, or I need to check with my wife, super important. Say that's great, but I want to make sure that I don't do my job. Okay, and
Right.
this is exactly what I tell them. I say don't do my job. So here's what I'll do. let me set up a time where I can show the information to your husband or wife. So let's just set up a time when she's back and I'll show her everything. That way you don't have to do my job because you haven't been to the training. You don't know the presentations, the websites, none of that. You can't answer the question. So I literally tell them, I said, don't do my job. Let me see them. When is she going to be back? And I will literally set the appointment with their spouse. Because here's the problem.
Right.
If they go and try to do the presentation for their spouse, those people will never join, never in a million years. They say, well, I'm going to go ask my husband. I'm going to go ask my wife. But here's the thing. They're going to go try to do the presentation from memory. And remember, they forget 80 to 90% of it every 24 hours. So that means that if their wife gets back in 3 or 4 days and then they tell them about it, this is what they tell them. Tammy has some travel thing. It's like $200. You want to do it? No.
Right.
That's it.
Right.
So you need to tell them, I want to show your spouse. So you
I
don't do
did.
my job. You need to tell me when she's back so I can see her too. And then just set up an appointment then. Try to do it then or let them set it up for you so that way it's locked and loaded. It's not out of sight, out of mind. Because then I'm telling you, they're going to tell them anyway. And they're going to tell them just a very small portion of it. It's not going to be enough to make a yes. And then you're going to wind up, they're going to cancel on you and be like, oh, we're not interested. Because they're going to go do it anyway. So beg them not to do your job and say, don't tell her anything until I get to talk to her.
Okay.
Paul is on the fence still. So why?
He told me 2 days ago when I sent the link that he was signing up, and I called him again today and said I didn't get any notification.
Okay, so here's what I'll do. Here's what you need to do with Paul. What does Paul do?
He's an attorney.
Okay, so I would get somebody that's an A-list business person that's on our team that's either a business owner or an attorney or a doctor or somebody that's a big business person and let them be a third party validation to get Paul off the fence. And this is what you do. Get your third party on the phone, call Paul on three-way, and then just immediately introduce them. Edify Paul, edify them, and then just prep your three-way person that Paul is on the fence. He's already said he's signing up. I need you to push him over the edge and give a killer testimonial. Okay?
Okay.
That's all you need to do tomorrow. But it needs to be, if you've got somebody that's high level like that, that's a business owner or an attorney or a doctor or whatever, you need to put somebody on the phone that they feel like has credibility, that they feel like is an equal, So you need to do a good job edifying both. This is something that's really important about an effective three-way. You have to edify both people, your guest and also the third-party expert, okay? You have to edify them while they're on the phone, not before they're on the phone, while they're both there, because that means that they don't have to have any type of oh, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. Like there's no bravado that needs to take place because you've already done a good job edifying them. And what you've done is you've now put them on equal playing field. If you edify your expert and make them sound like a rock star, and then you go, this is my friend Paul.
Right.
Now this person's way up here. Paul feels like a schmuck, even though Paul is not a schmuck. But because you didn't edify him on the phone in front of your third-party expert, now they're not on equal playing fields. And vice versa. If you have your friend from Bright Life and you put them on the phone with your prospect, Paul, and you're like, Paul's an attorney, he's a badass, everybody knows him, he's super connected, and this is my friend, Nancy.
Okay.
You've got to do a good job edifying both of them, and you don't ask Paul, you just call him with the person already on the phone and do the edification. Say, Paul, hey, I know you're busy. This won't take long. I just wanted to introduce you to my awesome friend, Nancy. She's incredible. She's a business owner. She's an entrepreneur. She's been in the area 30 years. She knows everybody. She's awesome. She's been on a lot of these trips. And Nancy, this is Paul. Paul's an attorney. Everybody knows him. He's awesome. He's a rock star. I've known him forever. Trust him with my life. If I ever had to go to trial, he would be my guy. Like, he's awesome. You're going to love him. Nancy, this is Paul. Paul, this is Nancy. Whatever. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, good job on your list and your activity. We just got to convert your activity to results. I mean, honestly, Tammy, you've probably done more activity than anybody else in the challenge. But the problem is that your results don't mirror your activity. And so you have to dial in and figure out every breakdown in the process. And I really think last week it was third-party validation and still again tonight. And I think if you would have already done third-party with Paul, he would have probably already signed up. Okay. So let's just work on those. But good work on the activity. Okay. You're doing great on that. We just got to get more results. So we really have to flip the switch and turn it to results versus activity, because man, you've worked so hard to get all this activity, but you're not getting paid. You're not making any money. You haven't signed anybody up. We've got to
Exactly.
get the results. Okay.
Agreed.
And all of these people are capable. They all have the money to, they all can afford to sign up. You're putting great prospects on here. So it's not that. It's just they don't see that they don't see how it will work for them. They don't see that it works. They don't see proof. They don't
Right.
believe you. That's basically what these people are telling you, is that they don't believe you. And unfortunately, until you get some third-party experts involved, I don't think that that's going to change.
Okay.
So until you have some more success yourself. So that's one of the only two things that could, or one of the only things that can cause a third-party validation to not be needed, is when you can be a successful third-party validation. So you've got crazy product testimonials, and you're making 15,000 a month, because they can't argue with that. It's like, damn, she's making 15,000 a month. This must be legitimate, right? So
Right.
you have to prove to them that it does work with someone else until you can show them your own proof that it does.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
All right, so we're moving to Daryl. Okay, Daryl, can you I'm gonna unmute you. Daryl?
Yeah,
Okay, perfect. Okay, so I got your list here. Let's go through it. Your friend Terry has been in Mexico. Well, that's a good one.
yeah, she does quite a bit of traveling. So I'm trying to. I've called, but I hadn't gotten an answer from her. I don't know if she's back yet or not, but she was over in Tulum.
Well, how do you not know if they're back if you called them today?
No, I said she didn't answer when I called. But when I called her, she was in Tulum a few days ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, text her. Text her and say, when are you back from Mexico? Simple. What about Shirley said she's not interested? Which video did she see?
Um, the recorded call, 17-minute
The
version.
17 minutes. And who did you
Yeah.
use for your third party validation on that one?
That was I didn't use anyone for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once again, you got to use the third party until you are the living, breathing rock star example for the business.
Right.
You've got to use third party validation, right? Because they're not going to believe that it's real with just you and a video. You've got to bring in third party. It's critical. You got to do it. So here's what I'll tell you. You need to call her back with third party. You may not get her, but you did the work to get her in front of the information. And you guys, it kills me that y'all are doing all this work and then getting no results, you know? And we talked about it last week. So this isn't something we just talked about yesterday. So when did you expose her? When did Shirley watch the video?
Today is Tuesday. It was Friday.
Okay. All right. Well, let's try. What was her reason that she wasn't interested? She's can't leave the country legally, or she doesn't have a passport, or what's her excuse?
She just said it's not for me, Daryl. That's it.
Well, remember, guys, you've got to ask questions. And we talked about this last week. You got to ask them when you're done, what did you like best? What did you like most? Not, are you signing up? Are you interested? Are you not interested? Like, you got to get them talking about the things that they like. So, because then when she says it's not for me, she can't say that, because she just told you what she liked most, what she liked the best. They can't say that. You see what I'm saying? You set them up to not be able to say it's not for me, because you just started with what did you like best? She has to answer that with something. You see what I'm saying? And we talked about that early last week. So we got to get better at closing, okay? And using that third-party validation. Eddie,
I just sent a video to him tonight.
oh, he was not on the live Zoom tonight. You sent him the recording?
It was 6 o'clock. He's in
Okay.
Florida. I didn't
Okay.
yeah, he wasn't on
Okay,
the
well,
call.
you need to call these guys that have the video tonight. Is if they watched it, you're not going to get them signed up tomorrow. So you need to get them on the phone with somebody tonight. So If they answer, I wouldn't wait. You know, it's the same thing we talked about with Tammy. If you guys are trying to follow up with people a day later or 2 days later, you're never going to get those people signed up because they're going to forget 80 to 90% of it within 24 hours. So they're not going to remember enough to make a decision. They're all going to say no. All of them. Guaranteed. Tim.
He
Charlie.
said he's gonna
Charlie
get
came
on
to a
call, but
live
he didn't.
meeting.
Yeah, I met him at his office.
And
He
he's in
said
another
he
travel
was in,
business.
yeah,
What? Which
I
one?
can't think of the name of it.
Did you
Yeah, he
put him on the
called
phone with
one of his
anybody?
guys on in Atlanta, huh?
Did you put any of these people on the phone with three-way calls? Any third-party validation on any of these?
Yeah, I put Eric on the phone with Denson, but it was after he had already signed up. But he did
Well,
talk
that's good.
directly
That's
to
one of your
Denson.
sales. So you got one sale off this list, right?
Yeah,
Okay, that's good.
I
Let's
got
try to
another
get.
sale as a result of activity, but
That's
I
good.
actually did the work. But he signed up under one of my guys,
Okay, that's good.
one of my first person.
Do this work for your people and with your people. All this same stuff that I'm doing with you guys, this is all of what you need to do with your new people when you get them signed up. This is exactly what you need to do. So this is great that you're already doing that. So let's just go back through this list and try to reconnect the dots on these no's, these maybes, and these follow-ups. And you got to make sure you're getting to them the same day, right after they watch the video, while it's fresh on their mind, and getting them on the phone with the third party. And it doesn't have to be Denson every time. There's other people too that you can call. You can call Tim, you call Angie, you could call me, there's other people that are part of y'all's team that you could call. So you've got lots of people that you can call. And remember, you could go post it in the group and you guys can get people in the group that aren't even on y'all's teams that'll be glad and happy to do testimonials, that have already been on trips, that have already made money, that have already saved money. That can be your third party. And then remember, if you edify them right, you put them on equal playing fields, you edify your guest, you edify the third party, you just put them on the same playing fields. They don't know any different. So they don't know what to expect. So you could put somebody that just got back from the Bahamas with us and that was their first Bright Life trip. So what? That's great. What a great testimonial. It makes it real. Okay. So just get better at kind of tying the bow around the package. You're doing good with activity like Tammy. We just got to get a little bit better at being more efficient. Okay.
All right.
All right. Thanks, Daryl. Okay. Marcus, I'm going to you. Can you unmute Marcus? Or do I need to do it? Hold on. Okay, go, Marcus.
All right. So
Okay, so you got Flex is coming to an event.
yes, on
Ronnie is
Thursday.
signing up as an influencer.
Well, that's what he said. And
Marcus, no doubting, no negativity, none of this. Well, they're supposed to. Well, that's how they can't do that.
I guess just because he didn't answer when I called him and
Well, I know, but look, but here's the thing though. So that needs to be your attitude. Like you told me you were doing it, you said you were in, let's go. What are we waiting for? Let's get going. You know what I'm saying? You don't give them any room for like any doubt or any, whatever. But have that in your mind mentally. Even if you didn't reach them, maybe something happened, maybe they got in a fight with their mom or dad or boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever. But just you need to keep it in your head that they're in. When somebody tells you that they're in, I treat them as if they're in. Like there is no no or change my mind or maybe or whatever. It's either yes or no. So they're either in or they're out. And so that's the way I treat it. And when they tell me that, that's the answer. That's what I go with. Okay. So don't waver. Even if you can't reach them, it's like they're getting in. As soon as I get a hold of them, I'm getting them in. Okay. You have somebody that was just in the Bahamas on your list?
Yes, but not obviously not
Not
with
with
you
us.
guys. Yeah, with on his own.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
awesome, right? I mean, this is a great person. This is somebody who was just in the Bahamas. You can talk about and put them on the phone with somebody who was just in the Bahamas with us and talk about how much they saved. Our members probably paid less than he paid to stay at some place probably not as nice. And I can almost guarantee that. So what a great testimonial to have lined up when you talk to him. Okay? So
Okay,
if you're
yes,
talking to
I'm
that
gonna get
person
that.
tonight, you need to make sure you have a testimonial who was at the Atlantis with us. Do you have that?
No, I don't have that, so I'm gonna get
Okay,
that
well, get
tonight.
that or call me. Okay, you have my number. So I'll talk to him.
Okay.
Um, okay, I don't understand. Did Matt watch the presentation?
No, I have a call scheduled with him for tomorrow,
Okay,
Matt.
perfect. Good. And then what about your networking stuff? Did you find some events and get on some lists and call some of the chambers? Did you call 44th Chamber of Commerce or find some other ones?
Yeah, I was looking into some events. I wrote some down, and I also, well, with the Scranton, what's it called, Chamber of
Uh-huh.
Commerce. I called them, but they were closed. They closed at like 4 o'clock, so I didn't know they closed too early. So I'm gonna call them early tomorrow. They open at 8. And that's for the events. And then I just been like working on scheduling events in Jersey and New York as well too, and
Okay.
not just events but meetups because like
Yeah.
I know people all over these places. So
Yep.
I've been
But
working
but
on that.
but
Mhm.
that's fine, but that you can do that in downtime. You should have been calling the chambers in 44th and Scranton, all those things that I told you, bro. You got to do that stuff during the daytime, man. That's your prime time hours. You got to do that stuff during the day. Do that
Yeah.
other stuff that you're doing and that's taking your time later after hours because you can do that anytime. And if you're setting up dinners and luncheons and pizzerias and stuff, those things stay open until 10 o'clock. So the chambers don't. And some of the chambers are staffed by volunteers. They're nonprofits. And so they may not even answer the phone all the time. So you gotta make those things a priority. You gotta get some good people going in Scranton, bro. You live there. So that needs to be your priority, because you're there and you don't know anybody there that's an A-team prospect. So you need to get out there in the community and find some meetings and events to go to. Every day that goes by, you're missing out on events. I promise you. Okay?
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm gonna move on to let's go to Terrence. Terrence.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, buddy, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay, so I'm on your list. So one of your people missed the call tonight because of the snow.
Yeah, so where I
Fine.
live, there's no, there's nobody clearing the snow, and it's pretty bad here.
Yeah, no worries. It's all good. What about so what's up with Ryan? Has he seen it or no?
Ryan hasn't seen it yet.
When is he gonna
Um,
see it?
I tried to call him again tonight. He works at night too, so I'm trying to get him tomorrow. But
Okay.
trying to get him and his wife to see it at the same time. She's a banker
Okay.
and a bank accountant, a loan manager, and he works for a big company called Bridgestone. So I'm just trying to get both of them to see it at the same time.
Okay, and you exposed Mason today at noon, but he said no because he's in IntelliTravel.
Yeah, he says he's in doing Intel he travel. Yeah,
And how's that working out for him?
probably not good.
Well, why didn't you ask?
I didn't know what Intel travel was until I actually looked it up on to actually Google
Well,
it. I never heard of
I know, but so when you asked him what he liked best, what did he say?
I didn't ask that question.
Okay.
He just,
So, but here's the thing. This is like you remember, we do all this work to invite and expose, and we spend our time, our resources, like, we get them there. And then if we don't close and get them on a third party, who did you use for a third party?
I didn't use I should have called Denson or Tim. I didn't, like I said, I didn't know what the Intel travel was. I was assuming
I
that
know,
he
but
was
here's the
in.
thing. Those guys know what it is. And so if you would have just done a three-way with one of them, they know. And they could have answered all the questions and told them the disadvantages and the advantages and all of that. See, this is the thing. When you can't do this business alone. You guys have to. That's why we've talked in the other calls. You've got to have two product and two business testimonials lined up that you can call. So to bare minimum, you at least get one business and one product. You have to. And those guys definitely know about IntelliTravel. It's been around. It's a travel agent thing. There's no money in it. Nobody makes any money. It's been around forever. Never had any real growth. Never had any real traction. I mean, I guarantee you he's not making money because nobody is. And so, you know, if you would have put him on the phone with Tim or Denson, they could have got him signed up and got his questions answered and stuff. So y'all have to do that because, like I said, it's like painful for me that y'all spend all this time getting to these people, presenting, inviting, taking time out of your day, taking time out of your schedule. You do all the work. And then when it gets to the very end, y'all leave off these really important ingredients, you know, closing questions. What did you like best? What did you like most? What was your favorite part? Those are the questions you ask. And then you do the third party validation. You do those things right, they can't give you any excuses because they've already told you how much they liked it and what they liked most. And then if they're in something else or they have questions, then you put them on with an expert who gets their questions answered. And you guys all know me. Y'all all have my info. And call me if you can't reach somebody. I mean, I was on a plane part of the day today, but I don't care. Like, here's the thing. Nobody outworks me. Nobody out recruits me. So you guys call me. Y'all are here. You're participating. You're here every night. Y'all can call me. You can use me. If you, I mean, ideally, you need to have a better system, but worst case scenario, then call me. If you don't know what IntelliTravel is, or you don't know what InCruises is, or all these other things, I've been doing this for 30 years. I can answer all the questions. Okay. But you're lucky because you guys have access to other people that can do that as well. Okay.
Let me
So,
ask you this, Wes.
yeah.
How would I pivot? Let's say he got on the call and he said he was in Intel travel.
Yep.
How do you pivot to say, hey, let me get you on the phone with my upline, let him
You don't
talk to
ask
you? I
them.
mean,
See, here's the thing. It's just like I told Tammy earlier. You don't ask them. So when I told her to call Paul, I said, get Nancy or whoever you're using on the phone, and then you call Paul. You don't ask. So literally, when I'm done with Mason, okay, this is what I do. I go, hang on a second, bro. Denson, hey bro, what's up, man? Hey, listen, I'm sitting here with a good buddy of mine, Mason. He's a really sharp guy. He actually knows a lot about the industry, probably maybe even more than I do. He's in a company called IntelliTravel. I don't know if you know what that is. But hey, Mason, I got this guy on the phone from Atlanta. He's a rock star. He's been doing this for 30 years. He's a top earner. He's one of the top earners in Bright Life. He's been in the industry a long time. He knows everybody in the industry. He knows the space. He's going to be able to tell you why he thinks this is the right company with the right product, with the right compensation at the right time. And Denson, this is my buddy Mason I told you about. We just got through watching the video. I'm going to let you talk to him. That's how you
wow.
pitch. You don't ask. You literally
Gotcha.
pick up your phone and call Denson because remember, you guys have already told him you've given your two and two, your two products and your two business testimonials a heads up that you're doing a noon presentation. So you shoot them that text before you start and say, hey, starting my presentation, be on standby for a three-way. So if Denson or Tim gets that text, they know they're going to be watching for your phone call in the next half hour for their three-way. You don't ask. You're in charge. This is your meeting. You're Donald Trump. Okay? It's your boardroom. It's your conference call. It's you're the one saying you're fired. This is your meeting. You don't have to ask them. You don't have to ask their permission to put them on the phone with somebody. You just do it.
Okay.
Got it?
Got it.
Okay. All right. I'm going to try to just get to at least a couple more people really quick. I'm going to go to Seth. So Seth, I want to see we can go through your list really quick. This is gonna be the last one for tonight. We're already over time. Seth, I unmuted you. Let's run through this
Hey,
really quick.
Wes.
Hey,
real
buddy, how
quick.
are you?
Good. Hey, I know I haven't said anything yet, but my name's actually Saith.
Oh, Safe. I'm sorry, bud. I just
No,
assumed
it's all right.
that that's how you said it. So
No, it's good.
I've never seen that name before in my life. So it's a very unique name. So that's good
As some
because people will
hippies
remember
made
it.
it up.
That's good. All right. Well, I apologize for mispronouncing it. So let's roll through and wrap this call up. So Tyler saw the video tonight.
We had our happy hour tonight
Awesome. Where was that at?
at Bourbon Barrel Tavern,
Okay. And what town was that in?
Elizabethtown.
Okay, perfect. And then did you have a third party validation for after the video?
I didn't get it set up. Today was kind of a rough day. It would have been David Hughes. We have Josh was there for one of the business validations, but I didn't get to David.
Okay. But so he got a testimonial from an influencer on the business?
Yes, I've
Okay,
signed
cool.
up 4 people.
Awesome, bro. You signed up for tonight?
No. This is right before we actually started this
Okay, cool.
path to 100K.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And so how many people did you have at your event tonight?
Including people that's already signed. It was and myself. It was just 4.
Okay, that's good, bro. I'm telling you, if I could literally sit here for an hour and tell you about all the different meetings I started with, like 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, you have to start somewhere. And then literally a lot of those meetings became 10, 12, 13, then 16, 18, 19, then 25, 28, 29, and then 35, 36, 37, and then 40, 42, 43. And then some of those meetings stayed over 50 people every week forever. And so that's great that you did that tonight and you had your 4 people there and some of them already signed up. It's good because it starts to become habit. We're running these DFW events on Thursdays now. Every Thursday, we're rotating them around because we've got so many people scattered all over DFW. But the goal is to be able to do one every Thursday in all 4 or 5 quadrants of DFW. So it's good. You got to start somewhere. So what's the status on the guests from tonight? Where are you at with them on signing up?
Well, Tyler was technically the only guest. Everybody
Okay.
else was signed up, and
Okay.
he travels a lot,
Mhm.
and he gave me some kickback on pretty much if it works for me, then I'll get in later. And I told him that wasn't the way to do this. Multiple reasons.
But it's good though that he said that because here's the thing: him saying that is what most people think, but they don't say it. And so, see, that's the comment that we're trying to negate with third-party validation. Because if you would have put him on the phone with David Hughes, I guarantee you he wouldn't have used that as his excuse.
Right.
Because David Hughes would set him straight on the business and his success and how things have gone. And then it's not going to be, well, I'm going to see how it works for you. But this is really valuable, Safe, that this happened. Because for all of you that are on here tonight and listening to this is a valuable comment because this is something that a lot of people think, but most people don't say. Because remember, they join because they answer 2 questions. Can I do this? And will it work? Will it work is social proof. They need to see that it's working for someone. They need to see that it's real. And because you're new, Safe, you aren't that person. You have to remove yourself from the equation. And it's better anyway, because like I said, you're not a prophet in your own town. So even if you were having success, because it is your own town, you do know these people, you're not the prophet. It's the same way with Jesus, right? Jesus was born in Bethlehem and he was from Nazareth, but he had to leave to go teach and preach because he was a carpenter's kid in Nazareth. They all knew him. Nobody was listening to him. Nobody believed him. So he had to leave. That's where that saying comes from. Okay. You're not a prophet in your own town. It's the same way with these prospects. And so it's valuable that that was said to you tonight, Safe, because that is exactly what most people are thinking. That's what these people are thinking that Tammy's been talking to. That's what some of these people are thinking that Daryl has talked to. I mean, this is a common thought. It's just most of the time they don't say it. So it's valuable that they said it to you tonight, because it just reiterates that if you use the third-party validation, you're answering those two questions. Can I do this? Which that is a process of how you invite and how you expose. When they go through that mentally, can I do this? They're asking, can I do what's being done to me right now? Can I invite like he did? Can I show up like he did? Can I present? Can I do this? Can I do whatever is being done to me? And then, is it working? Is it working for someone else? Is it working for Safe? Is it working for David? Is it working for Nancy? Is it working for Tammy? Is it working for Marcus? You have to show them proof that it's working for someone. That's why third-party validations are so key. Okay, so good job on the event tonight.
I did counter with something.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So when he did that, I said, if you really are interested like that, why don't you come out every week and watch us grow?
Yeah.
And
Well,
he agreed.
here's the thing. He's going to. He may not come out every week, but here's the thing. And I talked about this last week. And the thing is that the people that you present to early on, all of the people that you present to, even the ones that tell you no or maybe, and remember, I tell you, it's either yes or no. There is no in between. This isn't a follow-up business. They're forgetting everything. So if they're not a yes, they're a no. All of those no's, they're all watching, not just him. All of them are watching. They're going to watch and see if you're traveling. They're going to watch and see if you're saving. They're going to watch and see if you do anything different. They're going to watch and see if you act different. They're going to watch and see if you're making any money. They're going to watch and see if you show up at any of the Bright Life stuff. They're watching all of that. And then over time, this has already happened to me. I've had people that I exposed when we pre-launched back in April that didn't join, that now are messaging me like, man, how's it going? Y'all, looks like y'all are doing well, man. Y'all have already done the Bahamas. Y'all have done Tulum. Y'all are doing Vegas. You did Miami. Man, it must really be rocking. I'm like, yeah, it is rocking. Hope you're well. Good talking to you. And I just ignore them, because here's the thing. They're going to keep watching. Get your popcorn. Get your popcorn ready. But this is an important part of what you're doing with your business, because people are watching you. That means that you need to do it every week. Rain, snow, sleet, or shine. Not only are your prospects and your people who told you no watching, but your people who you just signed up that are doing the business with you, they're watching you too. Are you doing what you're telling them to do? Are you leading by example? Everybody's watching. So these are great things that you're noticing, Safe, that are happening because of your activity. And these kinds of things are going to be the things that you learn to have you get better results. Okay. So let's look at, you also had somebody, Justin, who watched the video. Was that today?
That was last week.
And so he's still a no.
Right.
Yeah.
He wanted to do his own research.
I know, but so here's the thing.
No.
It's the same kind of thing. This is the problem. Doing my own research means that you didn't show him proof. Okay.
Right.
When you show him proof, if you put him on the phone with David Hughes, he's not going to say, I need to do my own research. Okay. I promise you.
Okay.
This is really important. Going back, I would go back and try to make sure that these are solid no's. If you did them wrong, guys, look, you can always go back and fix it. You may not get any different result, but at least you could go back knowing what you did wrong, knowing what you left out, or what part of the process you need to work on. Same thing for you, Tammy. Same thing for you, Marcus. Same thing for you, Daryl. All these things we've talked about, you can go back and still fix these. Okay. You may not get them all to sign up, but at least if you know what you did wrong, if you know where you dropped the ball in the process, or where the results are not happening for you. Because if you're inviting and you're exposing, you're doing good on inviting and exposing. But if you're not getting people signed up, you're not doing good on closing and answering the objections and using third-party validation. So now we're getting into the nitty-gritty of the business and figuring out what we need to do to get better results. So you can go back to some of these, Safe, and I would ping David and tell him, hey, I've got a few people I've exposed. I really need you to help me get them off the fence. And I would just get David on the phone, block off 20 or 30 minutes, and just start calling these people. Don't even ask them. Just call them out of the blue.
All right.
Okay. All right, guys, we've been really long tonight. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody who participated tonight. Thank you for everybody who put your assignments on there. Remember, tonight is continue, keep working on your 10 list, but you have 48 hours to get your 2. So everybody on here by Thursday night's call, y'all need to put in 2 sales in the next 48 hours. If you need to use me for 3 ways, use me. Okay, you guys should be using the system and the programs and the numbers that y'all sent me. But if you need me, use me. And let's get these 2 sales in. And so all of you on this call tonight are going to be 2 and free by Thursday night. All right. So that new promotion, the new program where even influencers are going to have 2 and free is going to be live probably in the next week. It's going to for sure be by next month's billing. So this is critical for all of you, is to have your 2 in the next 48 hours. So if you have any questions or if you need anything from me, shoot me a message. Thanks everybody for being on here tonight and for staying late. I appreciate you guys. Have a great night and God bless.